I caught my wife cheating with her cousin, so I let the whole family know. Let me tell you about the time I became the black sheep of my wife's family by exposing their dirty little secret. I'm Mike, 35 years old, married to Allison for 7 years. We've got 2 kids, Emily 5 and Jack 3. Life was pretty good. Decent jobs, nice house in the suburbs, yearly family vacations. You know, the American dream and all that jazz. Little did I know it was about to turn into a nightmare straight out of Jerry Springer. It all started at the annual Thompson family reunion. Allison's family is huge, and they're all about family first. They've got this tradition where everyone gets together at her grandparents' farmhouse for a week every summer. Picture it, cousins everywhere, aunts gossiping on the porch, uncles manning the grill. Norman Rockwell would have had a field day. I noticed Allison spending a lot of time with her cousin Ryan. Now Ryan's always been the golden boy of the family. Good-looking, successful lawyer, charming as hell. I never liked the guy much, but I kept that to myself. Family first, right? At first, I didn't think much of it. They grew up together, so of course they'd want to catch up. But then I started noticing little things. Lingering touches, inside jokes, the way they'd look at each other when they thought no one was watching. My gut was screaming that something was off, but I told myself I was being paranoid. The night before we were set to leave, I woke up around 2 a.m. and realized Allison wasn't in bed. Figured she might have gone to get a glass of water or check on the kids. But as I passed by the old barn, I heard voices. Allison's laugh and then Ryan's low murmur. I'm not proud of what I did next, but can you blame me? I crept closer, peered through a crack in the barn door, and there they were, tangled up in each other like a pair of horny teenagers. My wife and her cousin, going at it on a pile of hay like some twisted country song. I wanted to burst in there, to scream, to punch Ryan's lights out. Something held me back. Maybe it was shock, maybe it was the need to think this through. So I did the hardest thing I've ever done. I walked away. The next morning, I acted like everything was normal. Helped pack the car, said goodbye to the family, even hugged Ryan. Allison must have thought she'd gotten away with it. The whole drive home, she chatted about how great the reunion was, how we should visit more often. I nodded along, my mind racing with what I'd seen and what I was going to do about it. See, if this had been a one-time thing, maybe, just maybe, I could have forgiven her. But as the weeks went by, I noticed Allison texting more, taking calls in another room, making excuses to visit her parents, who conveniently lived in the same town as Ryan. Wasn't a drunken mistake. This was a full-blown affair. I started gathering evidence. Logged into her email. Yeah, I know, invasion of privacy and all that, but I'd say she lost the right to privacy when she started screwing her cousin. Took screenshots of their messages. It was like reading a trashy romance novel. Except it was my life. Then, I hired a private investigator. Expensive as hell, but worth every penny. He got photos of them meeting at hotels, having cozy little lunches, even playing happy families with my kids at the park. Each new piece of evidence was like a knife in my gut. I wrestled with what to do for weeks. Confront Allison? Punch Ryan's lights out? Set fire to the barn where it all started? Hey, maybe that last one was a bit extreme. But then I remembered how big on family values the Thompsons were. They were always going on about loyalty and honesty. And that's when I knew exactly what I had to do. I waited until the next big family gathering, Grandma Thompson's 80th birthday. Everyone would be there. Great Aunt Edna to second cousin twice removed Billy. Perfect. The party was in full swing when I clinked my glass, asked for everyone's attention. Allison looked at me, peeved. I smiled at her, told her I had a special presentation for Grandma's birthday. Then I pulled out my laptop, connected it to the big TV in the living room. I've put together a little family retrospective, I said. A celebration of the Thompson family values. Started innocently enough. Some old photos, video clips from past reunions. Everyone was smiling, awing at the memories. Then came the new material. Screenshots of Allison and Ryan's sexts. Photos of them sneaking into hotels. That video of them playing with my kids, followed by a clip of them making out in Ryan's car. The room went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Then all hell broke loose. Allison screamed at me to turn it off. Ryan lunged for the laptop. Grandma Thompson looked like she was about to faint. Uncle Bob started yelling about family honor. Aunt Sarah burst into tears. I just stood there watching it all unfold. Family first, right? I said, looking straight at Allison. No secrets in this family. Followed was absolute chaos. Ryan's fiancé, oh yeah, did I mention he was engaged? Threw her ring at him and stormed out. Allison's parents were yelling at her in one corner, while Ryan's parents were screaming at him in another. Cousins were taking sides, aunts were gossiping furiously, and I'm pretty sure I saw Grandpa Thompson sneak off to grab a bottle of whiskey. Me? I just walked out. Got in my car and drove home to my kids, who were blissfully unaware at the babysitter's house. Fallout was nuclear. Allison's parents kicked her out. Apparently, cheating was bad, but cheating with a cousin was beyond the pale. Ryan's law firm put him on leave when the scandal got out. Small town, big gossip. The Thompson family was split down the middle, with some supporting the star-crossed lovers and others calling for their heads. Allison begged me not to divorce her. Swore it was over with Ryan, said she'd do anything to fix our marriage, but the trust was gone. I filed for divorce and sued for full custody. Given the evidence I had, it wasn't much of a fight. Been a year since that day. I've got the kids, the house, and my self-respect. Allison's living in a small apartment, working as a waitress since her family cut her off. Last I heard, she and Ryan tried to make a go of it, but it fizzled out. Turns out their great love wasn't so great without the thrill of sneaking around. The Thompson family reunions are a thing of the past. Grandma says she can't handle the stress anymore. Some of the family still won't talk to me, say I went too far. Others secretly thank me for exposing the truth. Me? I don't regret it for a second. Sometimes I think about how different things would be if I just kept my mouth shut. If I'd confronted Allison privately, tried to work things out. But then I look at my kids, happy and secure, not being used as props in their mother's affair. I think of all the lies I would have had to tell, all the family gatherings where I'd have to watch Allison and Ryan play happy families. No, I made the right choice. Was it petty? Maybe. Cruel? Some might say so. But in my book, the truth hurts a lot less than a lifetime of lies. So here's to family values, to loyalty, to honesty, and here's to karma. May she always be as much of a bitch as I was that day at Grandma's party. Life's pretty good these days. Kids are doing well. I've even started dating again. Nothing serious, but it's nice to be reminded that there are decent people out there. And hey, I've got one hell of a story to tell on first dates. So, want to hear about the time I took down an entire family with a PowerPoint presentation? Moral of the story? Be careful who you screw, especially if they're family. And maybe think twice before inviting your ex to make a speech at Grandma's birthday party. You never know what kind of retrospective they might have prepared.